The 2000s had no business in introducing addictive virtual web games. We had the best games like Club Penguin, Toontown, Stardoll, Habbo Hotel, and so much more. But there is this one game that people have absolutely no idea about. I've asked friends, colleagues, family, and no one knows, and it pisses me off. So that's why I decided to create a whole video on it. And that forgotten game is VizWoz. Created in March 2008, VizWoz was a British online virtual game aimed for kids aged 11 to 14. It had over 2 million registered users all around the world and had partnerships with big companies like Paramount and Universal. Unfortunately, all good things come to an end, as the site shut down for good in 2012. However, there is a twist to the story, as in 2023, VizWoz came back from the dead after a decade, only to mysteriously
vanish again.
So welcome to the Cusper Years, where I do a deep dive on Zillenial pop culture, and what better way to start this channel with the underrated and forgotten game, VizWoz. First of all, as mentioned before, VizWoz was launched in 2008 by founder Daniel Lawrence. He was actually the founder of School Stickers back in 2000. I was so shocked because I remember getting those stickers back in primary school. He had the backing of multiple investors and had around 50 staff members working on VizWoz in Birmingham, UK. In an interview with The Guardian, he describes VizWoz as a stimulating, interesting and safe virtual world for kids and teenagers to explore, meet friends, make friends and hang out while stretching their imagination and creativity. VizWoz appeals to both boys and girls who log on, create their own characters and move from room to room chatting, playing games and hanging out with friends for free. He mentions that his main competitors were MSN, Club Penguin, Habbo Hotel, Moshi Monsters and Gaia. Daniel Lawrence also believed that VizWoz was the next big thing in kids and teens virtual worlds. He really hoped that in 2 years' time, VizWoz would have the same valuation as Bebo. So clearly, Mr. Lawrence had high ambitions for VizWoz, and I love that. I love that for him. So moving on to the gameplay, I'm trying to go from memory. It's like VizWoz is a core memory, like I remember playing it, but there are so many things like I need to dig up to try and remember what I actually did on VizWoz. It was basically Club Penguin, except you were like a human avatar on a hoverboard going places to places, literally, and you'd be just making friends, chatting to new people and just generally having fun. Similar to Club Penguin, there were also these mini games that users could play. Now I think you could earn some Viz dollars while playing these games, but I'm not too sure. And VizWoz is no different to a majority of these virtual online games, because if you wanted the nice stuff, you had to actually pay real money. I remember paying with my SIM card to get the Viz dollars and become a VIP member, because VIPs had the nice stuff. Come on, as a kid you wanted the nice stuff. On the map there were various realms that users could visit. The themes of these realms ranged from medieval to futuristic cities. And yeah, you'd literally just go to these rooms and just chat with people. I just wanted to randomly point out that they did say this game was for 11 to 14 year olds. But what is this? Sexy Boy 222 while I was doing my research? This game was not for kids. Not at all. And there was the incorporation of VizCops to help with online safety. So if a user said any words that were on the banned list, they were suspended or completely banned from the site, depending on how severe the situation was. Like they were thrown in virtual jail, and if you try to log on, they'll tell you how many days until you were free. So the first way VizWoz made their money was, as I mentioned before, people trying to buy these VIP memberships to get the good stuff. And the second way was through brand partnerships to earn commercial revenue. So this is where, when I mentioned before, partnerships with big brands like Universal and Paramount came in. They had a place in-game called VizWoz Cinema, which was basically a cinema with different screenings that would show trailers of these big studio films. I think at that time I remember Avatar being promoted and one of the Twilights, Eclipse, New Moon, one of them. I remember my account name being called Original, but it was spelled wrong. And like a majority of these games, everyone had a boyfriend or girlfriend, and everyone had good friends on here like I did. Let's be honest, it was essentially Club Penguin, but it was more of a cool and edgy version to make it more appealing to older kids. The fashion and hairstyle options on VizWoz was definitely era appropriate for the late 2000s. The scene style was huge at the time. I remember those hairstyles where you didn't even know where the parting started, those stripy stockings and those knee-high Converses. MC bling fashion was also in back then. Remember the trend of sagging, where unfortunately is still going on today? And yet, that was actually an outfit incorporated in the game for the boys. You also had your own place where you could decorate it, and of course you had to pay for the furniture. But yeah, that's generally the gameplay and some background information on the starting of VizWoz. While we were all having fun playing the game, unfortunately Team VizWoz were having a financial crisis behind the scenes. I had to do some serious digging for this, as I had to go through their company's house documents to see what the hell went down. Now remember the founder of VizWoz, Mr. Daniel Lawrence? He stepped down as director on 2nd of October 2009. And I don't blame him, because they were in a real sticky situation. So while they launched VizWoz in 2008, they actually incorporated the company in late 2007. So between December 2007 and December 2008, they made a gross profit of £74,594. On 19th of August 2010, they had to appoint an administrator, and that's never good news. They had to spend over £1.3 million on administrative expenses, which meant that every pound they earned, they had to spend £18. So that profit meant nothing, because they lost over 1.3 million in the first year alone. And by 2010, their bank could no longer give them the money they needed, and their main investor, IQ Capital, refused to give any more funding. And the directors themselves had no personal money left to invest in the company. So going back to when the administrators were appointed, they decided to dissolve the company, and on the same day they sold the entire business for just £19,799. Now on their company's house profile, they said that on the 9th of November 2011, the company dissolved and later was liquidated. However, the website was still up in 2012. I had to use the Wayback Machine to see how long the website was there for following the liquidation. And the last web snapshot that Wayback Machine has was on September 7th, 2012. Now I stopped playing the game around mid-2011, so I don't even know if they announced that they were going to shut down the site. But yeah, it was really sad what happened, and unfortunately a financial crisis is what led to their downfall, and for them to never be seen ever again. Until in 2023, VizWoz finally remembered their Facebook and Twitter password and randomly posted on their page, "Whoa, it's been over a decade, did you miss us?" Their last post had been in 2011. Shortly after that post, they changed their profile and cover photo to a more modernized version of their logo, leading to speculations that they were making a comeback. This speculation ended up being true, as they revived their website without the gameplay. The new website featured what would be coming soon to the game and updates on any news revolving the development of the new VizWoz. It wasn't clarified whether users could still log in with their old accounts. I couldn't find any company house information on this, so they must have incorporated a new limited company. It seemed that none of the former directors were involved in this project. VizWoz claimed that the date of release was yet to be confirmed and that they were still in the early stages of development. They plan to launch VizWoz as its own software, available on both PC and Mac, with the possibility of releasing the game on other platforms. They never revealed who was the new team behind VizWoz. They only said that they were a dedicated team of developers and enthusiasts believing in collective creativity and collaboration. Unfortunately, they released a statement on their website in the beginning of 2025 that they could no longer go forward with the project without even explaining why. In my opinion, it was 100% lack of funding. I'm not sure why they even played our hearts like that. Anyways, it seems like the domain got purchased by someone else, as later on the link led to another business called Box Treasure Gifts, owned by a guy called Kevin. I'm not sure if he was part of the new VizWoz team or just randomly bought the domain to gain traffic, but it was just weird. Currently, if you go onto VizWoz.com, the site doesn't even work, but if you go onto boxtreasures.co.uk, their business is still up and running. And that's a short story of their failed attempted comeback. Playing VizWoz as a kid was so much fun. However, in my opinion, it wasn't as great as Club Penguin and Stardoll, which were my two main games back in the days. While I appreciate the ambitions of the new developers for the revival, I honestly think it shouldn't have happened. It seemed like the revival just happened for the sake of nostalgia. And in modern days, with Roblox as the main competitor, I think it would have 100% been very difficult to become a #1 virtual web game. I mean, take Stardoll as an example. They still exist and are severely struggling. I honestly don't know how they're still up and running. The people who log on are pretty much there for nostalgic purposes, like myself. But yeah, that's that. If you were someone who used to play VizWoz, I hope this video kind of gave you those good old memories back and kind of explained what really happened behind the scenes. And if you've never played VizWoz, I hope this video gave you some new information about the game. Please feel free to like and subscribe and leave a comment on your fond memories on VizWoz. Until the next episode, it's bye for now.